Up, gentlemen.
Hello.
Not much, man. I love that. I'm going to start using that more.
So what'd you get? What'd you get at Target?
Just a bunch of Easter stuff for the kiddos tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
How do you guys
does your family
celebrate Easter?
Just the egg hunting stuff. We don't do
bunny hunting?
What's that?
You don't do bunny hunting?
With bow and arrow?
Not anymore. I gave that up. I gave that up a long time ago.
The first time you said it, I thought you said you're not doing body hunting. I'm like, wait, body? Which body are you looking for?
Well, after you kill the bunnies, then you hunt the bodies.
I guess,
right?
yeah. That makes sense.
That's the traditional way, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what do you put in the eggs for the kids?
So we do coins. So we'll put quarters, nickels, whatever. Then we usually hide one golden egg for each one of the kiddos. With depends on how much money we've got in our wallets, but I don't know, some 10, $20, right? We'll wrap one of those in there, and those will be like the well hidden ones, Yeah.
So, but there is one designated golden egg per kid, because obviously
we have learned that lesson very
like
hard.
one kid's got them all. You're like, the other kids are screwed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's for
the older ones, right?
What's that?
Yeah, usually it's the older one. Usually it's the older ones, right? Because they know where to go hunting for them, right?
Yeah, I have seen one where it's coins and dollar bills, $5 bills, $10 bills. And I've seen these kids, I think the older kids generally make out with like $60.
Man,
and the smaller kids
what is up with that?
That is pretty legit right there.
Did you ever go egg hunting, Henry?
I don't remember if I ever did.
Have you ever decorated an egg?
I just watch other people do it.
Oh, okay. So you've seen the act of it.
Yeah,
Have you done it?
No, I think the way that I think what my wife Celine does it is actually she's been hanging a whole bunch of eggs in front of it's like a tree, and in front of stuff when all the dog walkers and anybody runs by, we put up a sign that said "Take an egg," and so that's kind of our way. It was kind of funny. Was it yesterday or a day before yesterday? It was like 3 kids running by, and then they were like, and they're young, and they're probably 7, 9 ish. And then they're like, wow, we can take an egg. And then they took an egg, and then looking around, I saw like they feel as though they're guilty. They know that somebody's looking. And they're like, thank you. If you're there. That was fun.
That's
pretty cool.
You have good kids. That's pretty cool. Good kids in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Go out, your tree's fleeced.
Yeah.
What happened?
In the wrong neighborhood, right?
What's in your what'd you put in those? Just like Tootsie Rolls? Gummy bears?
Haichu.
Oh, Haichu. I was gonna say, would you like
I love me some
all
Haichus.
shots of IPA?
Yeah, no.
Supposedly, like around my house, they have some neighborhood one. I was like, I wonder how they chose where they're gonna put stuff, But some kid put up a sign. It's like, we got X hundred number of eggs. I was like, oh, good for this kid and good for all the kids that get to go run around. But then, like, what if you put it somewhere where someone didn't want one? I guess.
I've also seen.
Where would that be? Sorry, I muted myself.
I don't know. Oh, like if it's some crotchety old, old man, he's like, get off my lawn. That type of thing. It's more so that than like, what if they put it in someone's tailpipe? I don't know. Straight like Beverly Hills Cop.
That's like a total like neighborhood egg hunt. That's not like your front yard egg hunt.
Well, supposedly it's everyone else's yard. I have a fenced off yard. it's only like 2 feet high, so the dog can't jump over it. But but still, it's not like they're gonna hide an egg on my property. But I could see like, what if they put it on someone's like lawn? You're like, the hell is that doing there? I never agreed to that.
Trash
So
it.
I've seen some where across a lawn, because a friend of mine, like the lawn isn't very big, but they've got like 60 eggs. So literally every 6 inches, there's an egg right in the lawn. And the funniest thing to me is when the kids, they start before they get to the lawn area, so just on the sidewalk. And so when they say go, like they don't go immediately to the closest egg. They somehow dart across the lawn and find the egg that they want, grab it, and then dart across the other corner, grab another egg. And meanwhile, they're passing like 10 eggs. It's the funniest thing to me.
Are the eggs that you have like special colored or?
Yeah, they're random colors. These weren't my kids or my lawn. My lawn's big. I have a big
Run.
lawn.
It's like a giant football field. 100 yards other end. What? I think that because generally if if you hold everyone back and you're like, all right, before you go, everyone, they all probably already have mentally like, this is my egg. That's my color. That's my one. That's the one I want. That's the special one because they don't know which is in each one, right? So each one is a surprise. I would think that would be pretty neat. I don't know. I did it when I was young, but man, it was like you get tickets, and then you get a ticket, and then if you get a bunch of tickets, then you trade it in for a pencil sharpener.
Shitty ass toy.
An eraser.
Pencil sharpener.
Heart. A heart.
500
pencil
tickets.
box.
We'll get you a pencil.
Well, I did it. I remember doing it because we did it in Sunday school. Because it's not like I'm religious. I just went, and it was another day of school.
Because you're Asian.
So
You like school. It's
like,
okay.
oh, school? Yeah, you can go. People say you should go there. So we just had another day of school. So they did it there. We did it at some at one of my other workplaces. Not my workplaces, my dad's workplaces. But as a kid, it was like, I always wondered, like, because some egg hunts were actual, like the colored egg. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, what if you don't find it? Like, it's gonna go bad.
Oh, like you had to go. You had to go hunt
like the
for
colored
specific...
eggs, the actual like
really
a real egg,
like out around. I was like, what if you
we do
one?
like,
what if you miss one? The
it
wrong
stays
egg out
there.
there.
It starts to stink up the yard.
You smell it,
right? Yeah, we do like the shell, like empty shells, stuff with confetti though, and we use those to smash on each other's heads and So usually after the egg hunt, then we bring out the other eggs and we start smashing them all over each other. So kind of makes it fun.
Well, it's funny that in Germany you can actually buy hard-boiled eggs, like colored one during Easter time, and it just sold everywhere. And I was just kind of like, do you guys eat this, or do you guys just use that for decorations? And then my wife looked at me, also I was weird.
And is it edible?
They're all edible, yeah.
Do they
really?
So do they eat it?
Yeah, they just eat it. That's what I asked. I'm like,
it's only the crazy American like trying to crack it open and eat it, right? They're all looking at him all weird.
Yeah. And she was like, of course you eat it. I'm like, wait, is this for decoration? It's colored. It's pink.
Is it single color or is it just like
single colored? It's single colored.
I don't know. Could you eat it's like a green egg? You're like,
well, then it'll be Dr. Seuss then.
What?
And I guess you get some green eggs and ham.
Well, I was gonna ask, like, are certain colors then like more, I don't know, palatable than others for certain like, because your mind thinks of food for a certain color or certain, and then if you eat that food but it's a texture you're like, oh, sometimes you're like, what the hell did I just eat? But it's something you've always eaten. It's just you're not used to the texture. So I was thinking of this color because color has no taste, so color is all in your mind. But still, will it, does it trick you into saying like, oh, this tastes bad, or this is gonna taste
I mean,
bad.
I would say
so,
yeah, right? Right? Like
I
you
have to
pick up a
push
green
back a little
egg.
bit, Freddie. I
What?
think all taste is in your head.
Well, true. Thanks, Dad.
Is this a computer simulation? Is that what's happening? Is that what that comment was for?
No, I mean,
We all live
because
in a
you can't
computer.
taste. Well, I mean, you can't taste your through your ass. That's what he's trying to say, or like through your ear.
Well,
Or I guess that's still your head. You just
Okay,
can't taste through your
through-
elbow or your
through the
hand.
miracle of YouTube, okay, my wife showed me this one video of this kid, probably like 2, and for some reason, he has like a raw onion in his hand, and he's eating it like an apple. And so he'll bite into it, he'll chomp, 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 and suddenly he'll make this face like, oh, and he'll go back for another bite. He kept doing that for like 6, 7 bites. So I'm like, how? You know it's painful, but he kept going back. So is his mind telling him something else?
At 2,
I
Sure.
don't know.
I've many
Basically, you
theories.
can
I
see
have
him
so many
react to
behavioral
it.
theories.
Do taste buds develop at the same rate as
I don't think.
like
I think
so like when you're born, do you have all your taste buds or do they increase over time?
well, your taste buds always change. That's why as you get older, you may like more things that you didn't like when you were younger.
No, you
Right,
just
right.
lose taste buds. That's why people want to eat more salty and more hot or
No, but
more
like-
spicy.
Right?
But I was going back to the kid. What the hell? That's so many questions. I was going back to the kid. So my thought for the child is that they don't understand all this. Like they just don't know all the sensations. So this is a new sensation. They enjoy the learning of a new sensation for a while. And even though it's like, it's like, oh, I'm going to do it again because now I know I can control it and I can feel something different.
Yeah.
Now, this person may or may not love onions when they grow up. I'm going to guess they will because they like it so much now. I don't know. That's my thought. But I don't have kids, so my opinion is, worth dirt.
So do you guys remember the first time your kid tasted something new? Like
Yeah,
sour, bitter,
Yeah.
right? You'd be like, I
Yeah.
hate it, or do you like, they went back for more?
Yeah, I think the funniest one is lemon, I think.
Mhm.
Right? Because it kind of looks like an orange, right? So that one's a little bit funny to see them try lemon for the first time. But like my oldest, was it my oldest? No, my middle son. He had, when he was younger, he would almost eat anything you'd put in front of him.
Mhm.
But as he got older, now he's 8. Now he's super picky, like super, super particular on what he eats. Right. So and it's not like we've changed our, diet or anything, right? Like we keep eating the same thing we're eating. But for some reason, he just went completely the other way around. And like now we got to be super careful on what he eats. He's super particular.
It's really weird. I think for my kids, the funniest thing they first had and the reactions, it was soda. Just the carbonation when it hits them for the first time. Like they like the sugar, but then the carbonation, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do with this. That's the best reaction. But the one thing I found super interesting was melted chocolate. So when my daughter, I think she was probably 1, she was still sitting in the feeding chair, maybe less than 1. My wife was baking and, she was like, had leftover Valrhona chocolate. Valrhona, it's fantastic. And so she just gave her a bowl. No, it's a little pan with the chocolate and just put it in front of her and let her do whatever she wants with it. This girl just ate it up. And she ended up having chocolate all over her face. And we were taking pictures, laughing at the same time. It's the best Kodak moments. But the funniest thing now is we thought that because it's such a refined chocolate, it's really high end, that when she gets older, she'll have she would hate Hershey's or something, or Ghirardelli's, right? But she doesn't like chocolate at all now. She just kind of like flipped off of it. It was the strangest thing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy. You would have figured, right? Because chocolate, chocolate, the stuff you get at the store, that's all sugar, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't, that part I don't understand, because my kids, you put a chocolate bar in front of them, they're devouring it.
I have some coworkers who are from Europe or Australia. They don't think of Hershey's as chocolate. They're like, I don't know what it is, but it's not chocolate.
I don't know. It is chocolate. It is chocolate. It's just not their chocolate.
Very different. Very different.
I'm not dissing Hershey's. Just saying. It's a big company. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
That's all right. We can edit it. We'll just edit it out.
We just go bleep, bleep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I think we should be relentless in our search for sponsors. So we should be nice to everybody.
I'm going to go back to the chocolate thing. So she no longer likes any type of chocolate. Like, because, even from bitter to milk chocolate, obviously there's like different sweetness, bitterness, cocoa content, I guess is probably a better way to say it. So she doesn't like any of it anymore. Like, hey, here's a chocolate chip cookie. No.
No, she'll eat chocolate chip cookies.
Okay.
But if you give her like a Hershey's chocolate bar or a Ghirardelli's chocolate bar or a Godiva, like little piece of chocolate bar, she just wouldn't eat chocolate by itself. It has to be with something.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you're like, would you like vanilla ice cream or vanilla ice cream with fudge? And she'd be like, I'm going to take fudge.
Probably.
Okay. Just
So here's a question. So when's the last time you guys gave chocolate to your wives? We all have to sit here and think about it?
No.
Yeah, I don't because she buys the chocolate she likes.
That's a cop out,
It's a bit, what's that? You can say it's a cop out. But also, what's that?
Facts,
when's the last time you bought? What's that?
Facts, right? Because it's true. It's not a cop out because it's true.
Like, I can buy someone a box of chocolate, but will they eat how much of it will they enjoy? I guess is my thought.
No, but it's not for you.
If I'm not picking the right choices, or if I'm not picking the right box, like
the boat that two of you guys are in, it's burning and a giant hole in it in the middle of the ocean, and you got arrows pointed at you. Like, what are you doing?
What are you talking about? Why buy chocolate? Why not buy? Why did you change your? Why did you change your thing? It was like, why did you say jewelry?
Well, okay, wait.
Stop. No,
it's expensive. That's why.
Well, see, I'm just saying. You said chocolate. I'm like, well, chocolate, but that's one thing. But it's like, when's the last time you bought your jewelry? Right? So just flipping the script. So
I know, but you're trying to get out of it. That's all it is, right?
Yeah. Oh, I'm telling you, I don't recall. Like, I think the last time was probably peppermint bark, that type of thing. Because that comes in season once a season from Sonoma Williams.
No, see, I want to say the last time we did was probably, what was the last big movie that came out on HBO Max?
Snyder Cut.
No, it was before that. Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman. So that one we did a movie night.
Oh, cool.
And she likes Milk Duds. Do those kind of chocolate? They're chocolate covered, right? So that's the last box.
Good.
Right.
Milk
Does
duds.
boba? Does like a
are
boba
they
drink
chocolate?
count as
Really?
candy?
Really?
Yeah, it's all sugar. Does a boba drink count as candy?
No, I just say chocolate. I didn't say boba.
Oh, I don't know. I'm just
I
asking.
want to be
Oh,
kind of specific here.
when's
right?
the last time about chocolate? Like I said, oh man, can't.
Oh no, it's okay. I mean, for me, it's a long time ago too, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Mine's
I'm-
3 years. 3 years ago. No, 3 years ago when we were in Europe, I bought some Milka because she just wanted some Milka brand.
But see, both of you said milk duds. Even though you're in a different country, you got milk duds.
No, Milka. Milka
Did
is
it?
not Milk Duds.
This whole thing about
Wait,
higher
wait.
falutin chocolate.
Wait, no. What did you say, Henry? bought
Milka. Milka.
Milka.
Milka.
Okay.
Milka.
Yeah.
What is Milka?
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good. That's
yeah,
a good
what is
brand.
It's I don't know. It's a European brand. It's purple colored. You'll see it at Trader Joe's, and or even Albertsons. I've seen it at Albertsons or Lucky's. But you'll see it.
It tastes
It's-
better over there.
It does taste better, in my opinion.
I think it's because they probably use
Dehydrated
sugar
milk?
versus fructose. Like just depending on regionality. That's
Yeah.
why the gummy bears still taste better from Europe than they
Yes.
do here.
Oh yeah. All
Yes.
chocolates taste better from outside of the U.S.
No, I'm gonna disagree.
Wow.
I'm gonna
That was an
disagree.
immediate no. I mean,
Like-
he went right for it.
All right.
Here we go.
Challenge accepted. Let's go.
So, are we talking about just pure chocolate, or are we talking about like chocolate bars and chocolate stuff?
I mean, chocolate bars, as long as it doesn't get too crazy, I think qualifies.
What is crazy to you? It's like
Like-
if there's 2 pieces.
Nougat or non-nougat?
Yeah, no nuts. What's going on?
You know how like some chocolate pieces, the 70% of it is filled with like nougat or hazelnut or whatever. Then you kind of, the chocolate is just the accessory, right? The delivery mechanism rather than the main thing. But
So no on the Baby Ruth.
Dude, I love Baby Ruth. You can't. That's my jam right there.
can you guys still eat like those kind of candy bars?
The kid size.
Like, okay.
What
Not the
what
big
happens?
ones?
Wait. You said can you finish a whole candy bar? Is that what
Yeah.
you're asking me?
Yeah, I don't think I can finish a whole one today.
You can
like
finish
a full
a
size,
6-pack
full
of
size.
beer. You can't finish one candy bar.
Oh, it's different. Yeah,
Yes, it is very much different.
very different. Like you might like the first bite because you miss it, right? Because when you're a kid, you loved it.
Okay.
You take that first bite and you're like, oh, okay, I'm good.
No, it's what you call taste buds is changing as we talk
I
about
have a
earlier.
hard.
There
What's
you
that?
go. There you go. Taste buds are changing.
Your taste buds are dying because you don't
Yeah.
enjoy taste anymore.
It's probably, yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I always liked the 100 grand. So when I was a kid.
The 100 grand.
Yeah.
Is that like it's got chocolate and then inside it's got it's like crispy?
Chocolate caramel and I think there's nougat in it, but it's a lot of caramel in it. So
I thought
Crunchy, right?
I thought it was the crunchy. Like what's the blue one?
the
Blue and
crunch.
white one.
Is it better to
Almond
say
Joy?
caramel or caramel? What?
Oh, here we go.
Yeah. Is it? It's just a question.
Caramel.
Caramel. Well, it's caramelized. You don't say caramelized. So-
Caramelized.
Well,
I've
could
done
you?
that.
What?
You can,
I've done
I've heard
caramelized.
caramelized.
Really?
Yeah.
Caramelized.
Okay,
onion.
see? That's what I'm asking. Does it?
Now,
No.
whether it's right or not, that probably I don't know. Maybe
I
I've
don't know
been
which
saying
one's
it
better usage
So-
or not.
No, but I'll tell you that a good chocolate bar is called O. Henry.
Oh yes. Oh,
wrong.
Henry.
Oh,
That's what Henry used to give out all the
come
time.
on, Henry.
He used to just throw it at us. Here, have one. Guys, got your name on it. He's like, I know.
Exactly. That's the reason why. It's one of my favorite chocolate bars. I don't like
Maybe we can get them to sponsor us.
Yeah, it's by Mars. So hey,
Well,
why not?
I don't know. I want to be sponsored by 100 grand. 100 grand. 100 grand sounds pretty good.
That'd be funny, right? Like, hey, if you're gonna sponsor us, Gotta be 100 G's or more. You
So-
can't go under that.
Ken, so you don't like any candy bars?
Not the American candy bars.
Ooh.
Like when
Now
I
you're just
was
bougie, man.
Yeah, he's gonna be like Toblerone.
no, it's just this
Right?
sugar content. I'm not like I haven't eaten pure sugar like that in such a long time. Your taste adjusts.
Do you not eat candy?
I'll eat gummy bears.
What? That's straight sugar.
That's
Yeah,
gelatin
but-
and sugar.
Yes.
Ernesto, do you have a favorite candy bar? Ken
Baby
doesn't
Ruth.
have candy bars.
Baby Ruth for sure.
Baby Ruth.
Really?
Mhm. Mm-hmm.
Do you have is there a reason why you have an affinity to it, or?
Yeah, because it's the same idea with is it Snickers, right? Because they're kind of built the same thing, right? But I like just kind of letting the chocolate melt and then I slowly eat the caramel, and then I like to just end with the nuts, right? I don't know, just break it down.
And with the nuts. Yes.
Yes,
Got your
Yes,
priorities
exactly.
straight, my friend.
Yeah, that's right. Mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I actually liked the Butterfinger because I didn't care about cavities, and I liked the fact that after you get through with the chocolate, you just chew on that crunchy, buttery,
Oh.
sugary goodness, and it sticks to your teeth, and then you can enjoy for another 20 minutes after you finish it.
Oh. That's that would always be one of the last thing I eat because it gets stuck in my teeth and I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the best. The best.
And to
Like,
me, Butterfingers always tasted stale or felt stale every time I bit into it.
Because it never. Oh, because it kind of like falls apart.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. It's just whenever I have a Butterfinger, I'm like, man, I must have the worst luck because it just tastes so stale.
It still tastes bad. Oh well. Gotta finish it. When you were all younger, like, did you all do trick or treating and stuff like that, and then you just trade away your candy? What was the first thing you would trade away? What's the most hated? Who's got the most hated one? Who's got the most hated candy? What did you not like the most?
Tootsie Rolls.
What? Why
No,
not?
because Tootsie Rolls just stick in my teeth also.
Oh man, he doesn't like the teeth thing at all. It
the,
really
the
bothers.
Tootsie Roll Pops, Henry, were you a big fan of those? The Tootsie
Uh-uh.
Pops.
They're
No?
like, how many licks does it till you get to the center? No,
Yeah.
I no. Mm-mm.
That owl was wise. It asked you like life-changing
No.
questions.
So I only eat that because
Can
you
you
get the
recall
wrapper.
life one changing question?
You get the wrapper with the
Yeah,
star on
how
it.
many licks?
But then, like, you get more out of Laffy Taffy. At least there's like either a joke or some wise. I wish I had some around me. I would eat that stuff all the time.
Mm.
What?
I didn't like the plain Hershey's tiny chocolate, like just the plain ones. Nobody wants those. There's nothing in it. Not real
No,
chocolate.
they're
There's
okay.
chocolate.
Yeah.
There's chocolate in
It's
it.
chocolate. It's just plain chocolate.
Well, then, but then when you combine a Hershey's with a marshmallow and a couple of graham crackers, right?
What is
now
that?
it's more valuable, right? Now
What
it's
is
more
that?
It
valuable.
is.
Could you tell me some more about it?
Do it.
Well played,
Uh,
sir.
That's really hard to. I always felt that's really hard to make well. Like, you gotta melt the chocolate well enough that it melts across, everything. But you don't want to burn your marshmallow. I mean, unless you really like burnt marshmallows. But you gotta like do it all at different times and like, it's just melted enough before you can also push it together. I just thought it was like a lot of effort.
This
But I
very
guess you're not
small
doing anything when you're
effort.
camping, so just little by
I think
little.
the one kid that can actually make a good s'mores that passes Freddie's test will be a future chef because everything
Have
is
you-
involved there, right? Temperature, texture.
I always worry because like in Boy Scouts, some kid caught his thing on fire, was like trying to flung it, and there's a little flaming, like marshmallow ends on someone's tent, and we got to put that out, right? So just
I mean, even if you melt
And when you say he get his thing on fire, you're talking about the stick that's
yeah.
holding the marshmallow.
Luckily, the marshmallow. I said the marshmallow.
Just want to make sure.
I said flaming marshmallow flying through the air.
Just sorry. Yeah, this episode's not gonna go live. I'm just
Yeah, that's some
way too many
well
hard
endowed
lefts.
marshmallows there.
I always get the melted marshmallows on my hand, so that's why I hate it.
Oh,
You got to use tissues.
Okay, so you don't like sticky stuff in between your teeth,
but he
sticky
likes gummy
stuff
bears.
in your hands.
Mhm.
What's your favorite candy?
Gummy bears, because it doesn't stick to your teeth.
True.
It would just okay. Sour gummies.
Oh.
I'll take those.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
But I bet you he won't eat the gummies that stick to your teeth. I bet you he will not eat those
Yeah.
brands.
So
He knows-
like the Sour Patch dolls. Have you ever had those?
Those are some of my favorite too.
but see, he doesn't like it because they don't.
Just stick to your teeth.
They don't. They
Yeah.
don't like. That's what.
That's like the weird. It's like, to me, that thing's a chemistry experiment in your mouth, right? The flavors, the combinations of a Sour Patch, it's just weird. And I find it surprising, Ernesto, that you find a Butterfinger stale tasting, but
But sweet and
Sour
Not a
sour.
Sour
Patch, like,
Patch?
fantastic.
No, yeah, those are the best.
But he was saying lemon and sour. Yeah, you like sour
Mm-hmm.
more so than
Candy
chocolate,
itself,
sounds
it's
like.
got that really weird flavor to it too. Like, you don't expect it.
what?
The chewy parts. When you chew into it.
The ones that get stuck in your teeth.
Yeah, that part.
Oh,
He's
Like, what
already.
is that?
I can. Henry's sitting there trying to clean his teeth. He's not even eating.
yeah, because
He's like, it's like so. He's like trying to clean his teeth. He's not even eating it.
it just makes me. I'm like, okay, I gotta clean
He's
it,
like-
floss, something.
He's like, can I brush my teeth right now? Right
Henry
now.
put on some latex gloves and go scrubbing his teeth.
And yet he's not like. Henry's not OCD or anything. He's just
I just don't like
interesting
it. It's like-
preference. I get it. It's like that's I don't know. Some people just don't like. Some people get headaches from chocolate. Have you heard of that? Some people actually can't eat chocolate. Someone that
Part of the
used to work with
chocolate
us
causes that. Is it the
I have
caffeine?
no idea.
Oh.
I don't know what causes it, but they don't.
Sugar?
They don't like chocolate because when they eat chocolate, every time they do eat chocolate, it gives them like a migraine. So I don't know. Everyone's
Yeah.
a little different.
Maybe that's just a polite way of saying that
I don't,
I
want
don't
to
like
eat your
your Hershey's
I don't want to eat your
chocolate.
Hershey's. Like, trust me, I didn't offer this person Hershey's, but
Hmm.
it's like, here, want some chocolate cake? Oh no, I don't eat chocolate. Well, I guess you don't like my baking. Polite way to say that, I guess.
I'll take my chocolate cake back with me.
I guess would it be? I mean, what's a better way to say that? Oh, I'm watching my figure. Sorry, I can't eat the extra calorie. What's another way to shut someone down politely?
No, I was like, my dessert's right here, right?
Oh,
so
that's
I'm done.
true. Well, that's probably also your dinner.
Exactly. It's liquid everything.
Yeah, and they just say, "Oh, I'm so full. You're such a great cook. I have no room for dessert. I overdid it."
But you know that. Try that on your mom, or
Oh, no. It doesn't work with Asians. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, it doesn't work with any mom.
It doesn't.
that's true.
It doesn't. It's like,
Yeah.
no, you have enough room. You have enough room.
Yeah.
You take another bite.
I've seen you eat more than that.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
That's what they will
So,
say.
Ernesto, have you ever like brought a cake to a party and taken what's left of it home?
I feel like I'm stepping into a trap here. I'm not sure which way I should answer.
There's no judgment. This is a safe place.
No, I don't think so. Trying to think. Hold on. Before I commit. Hold on.
Watch next time.
Final answer. No.
Next time he comes over with a cake. Like, are you taking that home?
I'm gonna take it back with me. Yeah. No, I don't. I usually when we take stuff, wherever we go, if we take food, we usually leave it. Like we don't, right? Just do with it what you will.
Have you brought a cake to your mom? What happens?
I take it back home with me
See?
if it doesn't get eaten.
Exactly. You get like.
It's either that or she puts it in a Tupperware and she sends
Do you
me home
bring
with
your? Do you all bring your own to Tupperware with you?
To
like a party?
Yeah.
No, but what normally does happen at my sister's house is because they normally host a lot of people all the time, is that they actually have to-go boxes all the time, like ready for people to just take food home, because they'll have like a party or whatever, and then like they just have a lot of food. So you're like, please, you have to take some food home too, because everyone will bring stuff, right? Too, and so there's just a lot of food. You're like, well, this can't all fit in this house, so here's some takeout boxes, take some food home. Happens a lot during Thanksgiving too, because Thanksgiving, my sister and her husband, they host Thanksgiving for people that don't have Thanksgiving in the area. They've been doing that since college. And so, again, it's just because there's massive amounts of food, and you're like, please take some with you. Don't feel bad. Don't feel weird. We can't eat all this. Definitely 100%. There's only, and her family only has technically 4 people. So it's like her husband and 2 little girls, right? There's 2 giant turkeys. Please take some, right? Like it's just that type of thing.
And the to-go boxes, where does she get those from?
I think you can buy them at Costco. And then the other thing is, like, if you collect them over the, whatever, like we all have takeout. I mean, we all have, we all ordered takeout at some point during our nice pandemic here. And so you have very many like boxes. So that's also what they use. Like here, it's just reuse, right?
Yeah, I dig it.
Yeah. There's something that we tried to do is have specific types and colors. So it's like, this is the Tupperware and this is the red color top, right? Okay. So if you like blend it to someone, it's easy to be like, hey, you have this. It is this. I have it back.
Give me my Tupperware back.
Yeah, give me my Tupperware back. The whole point is only so that we don't have to keep buying and, throwing in landfills and other crap. It's like, hey, can we reuse this forever? Because it's made pretty much for forever, right? So keep reusing it. The only way you can reuse it is you, like you said, probably bring it with you, or like remember to get it back and stuff like that. So just part of our stuff.
So during the pandemic, have you guys cooked more or take out more? Since before the pandemic in comparison to now. We all have to think about this.
No, I mean, definitely cook more.
We started off cooking.
I don't know. It's kind of hard. Yeah.
The first half, I want to say like the first 6 months, like we made an effort, right?
Mm.
Well, yeah, after things kind of settled in, right?
Mm-hmm.
We started making an effort. But eventually, I mean, I think we only know how to cook like 7 things. Eventually we just got bored, so we started and now I say like this, maybe the last 5-6 months we've been ordering out more.
I see. And what about you, Ken?
Like Ernesto, we kind of changed over the course of this thing. In the beginning, we weren't sure if it's safe, right? So we just did a bunch of cooking. We stuck everything in the freezer. So what my wife, she'll buy a bunch of groceries on the weekend and she'll cook for like 2 days straight. right? And we'll like pack the freezer with stuff. And she's like, okay, this will last the whole like next 2 weeks. And then if my daughter comes home from college, we'll stuff her freezer too. We got it all ready to go. Then when the restaurants started opening, we're like, hey, support your local restaurants. Now I was like, let's just order out. It's been a while. So we were ordering out probably half the time, right? During that period. And then it's like with all things, you go through phases of it. You're like, that's enough. Let's cook more, right? So we switched back to like one takeout a week, and then we cook the rest of the time. But now we're back into the maybe 2 or 3 days a week we do takeout, and then we cook the other time. So it changes.
Yeah.
Is that based on like time?
It does. Like if your week went well, you might cook, or you have the right groceries or stuff in the freezer, then you cook. But if you're not in the mood, right, when you're like, shit, I'm tired, had a rough week, let's just order out. Then we do that. So yeah, a lot of factors.
This is pretty interesting because, like, when we think about it, I'm sure all of our parents were pretty close to the same. Where, we all had, like, the way we eat now, and the way we buy groceries now is much different than when we were younger and children, and our parents were the ones footing the bill. I think is the best way to put it. Like the choices and the availability and the just. I don't want to say affordability too. I don't know if I would say affordability. I'd just be like, that's just what it is now. Versus like, I think we, like my family, when we were younger, we had cooked almost every single meal. Or my mom cooked almost every single meal. We maybe went out to dinner once in a while. But I also remember every time we go out to dinner, it was still Chinese food. So it was like you had Chinese food at home and you go out as a Chinese restaurant. You're like,
Well,
what's up, yo?
I don't know how you guys do it now, but I remember when I was younger, it's when we did something good, when we did something awesome. We did like I got an A on my test. It's when my mom or my parents would take me to McDonald's.
I was gonna say same thing, McDonald's.
And then we're
that's
like,
when you got to go to McDonald's.
yeah, that's the only time we get to go to McDonald's. But now it's like complete flip opposite, which is kind of odd, right? Well, we're on the road. Oh, we just stop at this McDonald's, grab something quick, eat. Okay, done. Right. So I just find that dichotomy is so funny. It's just like this is flip 180 now. So
no longer a reward, but a
that's exactly what I was
a go-to.
Has it lost its value? McDonald's, right?
Yeah.
Or is it just perspective, right? Has a perspective change on McDonald's?
Well, I mean, we're all quite old, so when there's just less McDonald's.
Hey, wait a minute. Speak for yourself here.
Whoa.
There were less McDonald's overall in the world. So volume, yes. Availability, exclusivity, right? It's probably higher when we were younger, just because there was just less of them. It's kind of like going in and out because there's only so many of them. But as we're growing more in and outs, there's more in and outs every place, and more people can try it. But at one point it was like there's only so many in and outs around, right? And then that you can't get in and out. I think past Nevada.
Did you just compare In and Out to McDonald's?
see, here's the thing. Here's the interesting part, right? You're talking to two guys who grew up in LA. We all know what In and Out, right, is all about. I mean, I still know where the Baldwin Park, where the original In and Out is.
It's the best burger in the world.
Where did McDonald's start as well? I think it was LA. I think it was also LA. I'm just saying. Which one got bigger? Worldwide? I'm just saying. Just say which one's worldwide bigger?
No, but I would pick.
You can say taste. You can say taste all you want. Which which one is
Oh,
World
no, that's
leader.
easy though. That's because McDonald's was public versus In-N-Out still private.
Mhm.
yes?
Still
That's
owned
why
by
In-N-Out
by
still
the
has
same family.
John 3:16 on the
Yeah, I want my kids to marry into that family. I want my kids to own one and franchise
yes
one.
McDonald's family.
No, laid it out.
Oh,
Anybody
sorry.
can own a
Again,
McDonald's, dude.
you want revenue? I think you got to go the other way.
I don't know. About
Volume, like you cannot outsell like by volume everything else. McDonald's. The capacity that you always see that there's like a max capacity in and out because the line is so long that you like people have to wait I had a friend that waited during this pandemic, waited like almost 2 hours in line. I was like, holy bejesus.
For In-N-Out?
Correct. That means that they cannot
that's
produce
excessive.
fast enough. Versus McDonald's are just like boop 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 boop. Order in out. Orders are just going out fast. So as I'm saying, franchise. I know that your taste and everything else might want to go. But revenue, you might want to think about that. Like, which one do you want?
Well, okay, that's a difference in timing between like shitting a burger out or cooking a burger. That's why. I'm not judging, but hey, McDonald's or In-N-Out, I'm open to sponsorship either way.
Has everyone tried Impossible? Have we talked about that? We talked about that.
Yeah,
right?
we talked
Impossible
about
burger,
that.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I just made an Impossible burger with like my own mushrooms at home. It's pretty cool that you can buy that stuff off the shelf and just go home with it now.
Yeah.
Homegrown mushrooms?
Homegrown mushrooms? I wish. If I could figure out how to homegrown mushrooms, I might not be on this podcast. I'm going to be tripping out because I grew the wrong mushrooms.
I was gonna say, I got plenty of mushrooms in the back. I just don't know if it's edible or not.
How do you know which ones are
As long as they're not
okay
red.
to eat?
As long as they're not red. I don't know.
So you remember? So these two guys that work. We all the three of us worked together. There was one guy that we worked with, my boss, who would walk through just the woods here and then go find mushrooms and just eat them. And I was like, okay, time out, buddy. How do you know which ones are good, which ones are bad? He even took us one day, like as a team builder, to like walk. We were just literally walking in the wood. It was a wooded area, but it's still like we're like walking on the side of the road. Cars are just like flying by us, and we're like, "Oh, is this one that we can eat?" Oh, this is chanterelle. Okay, we can eat that one. Okay, how do you know that's a chanterelle or whatever it's called? I have no idea how you know which one is edible, which isn't. So it's like, to me, it's always a worry. Like, I know we're close to hospitals and everywhere, but how do you know that one's a good one?
That's when you bring it, right? Whatever you have, run into a Whole Foods and compare the package what you have and go, oh yeah.
No, or you cook it and then you have somebody else to eat it first.
Royal tester.
There you go.
Yeah. Now here's a question for you guys. Impossible meats are becoming available everywhere now, right? And one day, if you walk into any grocery store and you can find it, do you think they should change the brand name of their burgers? Not so like impossible. It's like possible. It's everywhere.
Is it called Impossible Burger because it was impossible to make?
It's Impossible Meats, right?
Sure.
Well, Henry,
But
what's
at the same time, when it started, it was impossible to find.
Sure.
Well, it's I think it's named that way because it's like, I can't believe it's not butter.
You're right, because it's not butter, because it's margarine.
Right. But that was the whole point. Like the brand is, I can't believe it's not butter because it's almost like butter. So it's like,
yeah, but it's the same thing.
It's impossible. It's
not meat, so it's
Freddie,
impossible to be meat.
Yeah. So here's my problem with both of those brands. Okay. You can't not be impossible forever. And you cannot not be butter forever because the first time you eat it, I can't believe it's not butter. But the 1,000th time you had it, you're not going to say, I can't believe it's not butter. I'm eating margarine.
But you're not. But you're probably not going to. You probably wouldn't taste test a different margarine because you're like, oh, this is close enough to butter. Like, why would I want to try the other one?
Yeah, but just logically in my mind, that's not how I roll. Like, you can't tell me something's impossible for the next 10 years. That's bullshit.
So, but here's the thing though. So I know, Freddie, you said you just cook impossible meat.
Sure.
Is it impossible meat or is it beyond meat? Yeah,
I guess it's beyond.
A lot of people mixing that up right now.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's why I asked. I was like, "What's the brand?"
And there's two different brands.
Yeah, it's two different brands.
Two
Impossible.
complete-
Oh.
I know I've had an Impossible burger at Burger King. They actually sell like Impossible Whopper, so it tastes pretty dang close.
And Carl's Jr. sells Beyond Meat.
Touche.
So,
I have a feeling that like as we get into our senior years at some point, like meat is just it's not going to be the greatest, and so you either have high quality meat or you have McDonald's. And so I think like things like Beyond and Impossible are probably going to just get better, and then the other meat is so costly that it's either going to go either way, I think.
so I'm going to make a prediction.
Ooh.
Oh, here's a prediction. See, Ernesto,
Oh, wait. This is Stardate.
No.
I just say 2021. Mr. Lou makes a prediction.
Sure. No. Ernesto's family has lots of boys. They're just looking for consumption now, right? So anything that they can just engulf, he's just gonna buy. As he gets older, of course, he's gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna do something. If impossible for some price gets under some dollar amount, he'll say, whatever the cheapest, as long as my kids can eat it, I'm good."
Yes, but
Oh, there's a but. Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
well, I'm just saying, like McDonald's is pretty inexpensive,
Yeah.
right? I don't know that I would feed my kids that.
You're not gonna.
You're a good dad.
Well, if I can't pronounce, I don't know if I can pronounce the stuff that's in Impossible Burger or Beyond Burger, but if I don't know what the ingredients are,
Well, are you gonna feed your kids Wagyu?
I would.
You feed
I
your.
would love to if I could, but that's
Price.
buku dollars.
If price was no object.
Yeah,
Price.
yeah. No, but I see what you're getting at, right? Like, I mean, what that goes back to is quality over quantity, right? I think there are, generally speaking, I think when it comes to food, I would much rather pay a little bit more of a premium to at least have the sanity that it's better, right? Opposed to the other way around. Yeah.
Okay.
But that's just me.
I don't think it's just you. I think I'm also guilty of that because I used to be quantity over quality. Now I'm definitely more about quality than quantity. I mean, I would just like take one bite and be like, "Hey, I'm good," and then I'm all good. I'm good for the day because I was happy with that single bite. So
That's good. I still have to, I don't know. I am more likely to not finish good quality food because it's not good quality than like, but if it's good quality food, even if I'm full, I probably will make sure to eat it while it's still that time because the next day is never the same. It's a pretty interesting thing because we think about like quantity and quality and stuff like that. And just because it's like you said, like, oh, it's just because it's beef, it doesn't mean it's like this is good for you. It is beef and it has protein, but it's not necessarily a good thing, like good delivery system. we were just talking about McDonald's. Like, it has beef in it, but there's also other sugar, salt, all these other things that are in your food that when you eat it, what up, kid? That, when you're eating it, it's not just beef. But if you're eating Wagyu, you're probably just eating Wagyu, right? With some butter.
Yeah.
Did he just thank you for the high quality meals you've been feeding him? It's like,
No, I
"Dad,
think he
I'm so
couldn't find
glad."
me.
Oh.
I think he just came in to give me a hug.
That's so cool.
That
My
was a
kids
really
don't do that anymore.
That was a really cute moment, by the way.
Yeah.
Your kids don't hug you?
Oh, Shelly. Okay. So my daughter will hug me when she comes home from school, right? Still.
What happens if you hug your son?
He's not like a natural hugger. It becomes an awkward thing, right? So
like
here's the
next time you
thing.
see him, come you like give him a hug, see what happens.
But record it though. Because
But no, you can't record it. Have someone else record it, but
Right.
secretly record it. But like go like, oh, I miss you, and give him a hug. Like, one of the things that one of my old work that had us do was, I forget what class it was, but it was like something about communication. You had to call home and tell your parents, "I love you." So, the way I chuckle is because if I were to call home before that point and say, "I love you," it's very unnatural for Asians, like coming from, especially like immigrating over, because they don't say that. You just know it but they never say it.
Wait.
It's a weird thing. And so like,
Here's a valid question, Freddie.
Yeah.
So you have said it to your parents, right? Like,
Yes.
actually, I love you.
then,
Okay.
after then, yeah.
Okay.
But
Henry,
like
have you?
before that point, I mean, I was already almost 30. And so like before that point, I could not remember when the last time I said I love you to them. So I was like, okay, well, I guess we'll see how this goes. So
Yeah.
So to answer Ken's questions, the answer is no,
Yeah, me neither.
because we don't say that. But yeah, I have a different question though. But I'm gonna ask Ernesto first. Have you said I love you to your parents? You're nodding your head. Now, have you said it in Spanish?
Yes.
Okay. See?
Yes.
And now here's a change up. Freddie, have you said it in Cantonese or your native language to your parents? Say,
I wouldn't know
love
how
you.
to say it properly in Cantonese. I don't know if there's the same type of phrase, to tell you the truth.
It is.
It is. There is.
Not in the same. I don't know if it's
versus 我愛你.
say
Right?
the first
It's very
one.
similar. 我愛你.
No. But that I love you is. I didn't think it was the same. I thought that was a romantic I love you, not a familiar I love you. But like
I don't know. Maybe that's why we don't use it.
That's what I'm saying. Just think about it. Like
So what I'm trying to get at is that to me, I can say I love you to quite a few people, but I mean I also have to say people actually understand, is it a romantic love or is it a familiarity love type of deal, right? That's number one. But I also have to say when somebody says in Chinese to me, it gives me all the heebie-jeebies. Like I can't stand it. I'd be like, what the heck is that from?
Really?
wait.
Yeah,
That's interesting. That's interesting.
If they said I love you in Chinese at all?
Huh?
Sorry.
What?
Say that again. What gives you heebie-jeebies?
If somebody says in Chinese to me, say they love me,
Oh,
right? It gives me a heebie-jeebies because it just gives it's like, wait, that doesn't jive. Because in the Asian side of me, it's not necessarily there's no love, it's just that portion of it's never really expressed. So that's why I just simply just like, wait, give me heebie-jeebies, and just shuts me down right away.
Henry, I'm gonna test the Asian side of you. Henry, 我要你.
See, that's the funny part. It's like, what does that mean? That's Cantonese, which I don't know.
Freddie.
yeah. Why?
Well,
But then you
you
just
late.
told him you want him.
Yeah, I want to see if you understood that. It's very different than, I love you.
No. It's still the way you just said I want you is very like
It's like stalkerish.
Very no, I was just saying, it's just very sexual. The other way
No,
they
I was thinking more like Impossible Meat. Like I want that.
say this is evolving fast. So
This is not going live,
The
okay? I tell you,
the reason I say
Yep.
that, I'm gonna go back to the thing. Anyways, so like when I was like, okay, so I called my dad because even after like military and all that, like he had just rarely ever said this, you know. So I was like, "Hey, Dad, I love you," and he goes, "Are you okay? Are you dying? Like, are you okay?
Holy shit.
Are you injured? What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, this is supposed, you know." I was like, "Oh, he's just telling you know that I appreciate the things you've done," and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, and so from then I think he, because you know, it's a validation that necessarily that people don't get all the time, right? Like that, hey, that I do, you know, understand that you sacrificed and I do love you, right? Like they don't actually necessarily know that all the time. And so that part I thought was important. But it was like you said, it was a very awkward step just because sometimes it may feel awkward, but sometimes you have to take that first step first. That's my
So-
whole point. Like
So in a funny way, we've gone from Candies to burgers, and now to speaking or saying I love you to people around you. And I don't know if you guys, but there is a connection from all three of those different topics, right? The biggest difference, you know, or the similarity across those three things is quantity over quality, right? Because at least for us, right? I mean, dude, I tell my kids I love them every second if I could. It's every single day, right? I don't know, my wife's side of the family and my side of the family, super affectionate, right? But now when I think about it, I'm gonna put this question out to you guys. Like, does that lessen the quality because the quantity is so high, right? I mean, we were just talking about, you know, In and Out versus, you know, McDonald's, right? Or even the, you know, the candy, right? Good chocolate versus your Hershey's chocolate, right?
I don't think so. So to me, there's a difference, right? And I think people recognize this difference too. When at the end of the day or end of the week, you tell your kid or wife, hey, love you, see you later. You could do that all the time. I think that's okay. And they understand what that means. But if like on your wife's birthday, you're like, hey, baby, I love you. She knows what that means too. It's very different than the daily love you.
Yeah. I mean, but it's the same words, right? Well, I mean, I
It
guess, sorry, we'll go back to the burgers. I love burgers, guys. There's beef in all burgers, right? Well, except for the Impossible burgers.
or chicken, but just
Or
semantics.
Chicken
sorry.
burgers, but semantics.
No, it's
Sorry,
a chicken
sorry.
sandwich, not a chicken
Potato potatoes.
burger, all right, you
Sorry,
get
sorry.
sued.
Veggie burger. Okay, yeah, sorry.
Chicken sandwich.
I think it's actually easy to explain. So McDonald's and I'm not saying that they're the same. McDonald's and In-N-Out definitely not the same. But when you are famished, when you're so hungry, it doesn't really matter which burger you eat at the end of the day. It's going to be like, you know, this is one of the best thing you ever had. And saying to somebody, you say that you love them, right? And it's at that split moment, is whatever that moment that you encapsulates, where the other individual who's receiving the words know what that means. That's actually now you know what the quality is, not necessarily the quantity of it.
I dig that.
I'm gonna disagree with everyone here.
Do it.
I think there can always be too much of something. So when you say too much, I can't tell you what that limit is, but I can tell you there can always be too much or too little. knowing the exact amount is always very tough. But I think you can always have too much or you can always have too little. Like it's very easy to have. I think it's always very easy to have too little. I think it's like for love at least. But I also think that you can love something too much. That becomes something else at that point.
Well, in your case, it would be obsession.
Exactly. Just.
But if it becomes something else, then it is no longer love.
Yes.
Oh,
Right?
But
has
you're just
become
saying love
obsession.
had many different variations. So how's that not this extreme love?
But
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just sometimes, like, for instance, if you let's take a different example. Like you could love someone so much you enable them into the wrong things.
I can see that. So if I got that right, it's like when I was talking about the difference between your daily I love you versus on those special occasions where the words itself, it just captures, solidifies the moment, the feelings, things that are happening around you that you're both on the same plane and understanding about, and that wraps that up, right? And that makes that moment special. It's not just the words, it's the entire moment. But imagine the moment and the words happening every freaking day. At some point, then you're like, I've had in and out every day of this week. Do I love it on Saturday? Maybe not so much. I can buy that.
It's always hard because, you want to give as much love as possible. And we know that giving a lot of love or less, at least, allows a lot of growth and a lot of good things to happen. I'm not saying that love is not a good thing. I'm just saying love can also turn, like anything. I can eat too many bananas, right? I can eat too many whatever. It's just not good for you after a certain point. So it's just...
So, Freddie, I'm going to use you as an excuse for next time I forget to get my wife a birthday present. I'd just be like, hey, a wise friend of mine told me one time, I can't love you too much.
Yeah.
Lose meaning.
Didn't I give you a birthday gift?
But
last year?
if you love someone so much that you put them on a pedestal, does that, like, if you put them on a pedestal that then they, like, you're treated poorly, that is a poor outcome of your love.
But I think that's very different what you're saying, though, because I think, well, at least my personal feeling about love or telling somebody that I love them all the time is because the following reason is because I don't want them to ever doubt me that I never loved them.
That's a really good reason, and I'll give you the reason why I think that, because like homework, right? My oldest, right? He's in 7th grade, and for whatever reason, the past month or so, it's been a struggle to get him to do his homework, right? And last week, I went off on him. Like, I was like, dude, like, you have to do your work, right? Math is the part where he's struggling the most because you have to show all of your work, right? And he just doesn't want to show all of his steps. He's like, why do I have to do all these steps if I know that I can get to the answer? I'm like, it's the proper way of doing it, right? So I went off on him, right? And at the end of the conversation, I told him, I was like, dude, like, listen, it upsets me because I love you. I want you to be better. And that's the thing that, like, if I didn't care for you or didn't love you, then I would just, I wouldn't care. I wouldn't want you to be better. I wouldn't want you to work harder, right? And I think that's the part. What am I trying to say? I guess that's the part that is the valuable part, I think, right? Where then the I love you is regardless of the number of times you say it, is valuable, right? Because it comes from a place of you want to see that other person be successful, right? Selfless, right? Not like you it's not coming from a selfish place, right? You want that other person to be. Because I think, Freddie, what you were describing almost gets to the line of obsession, right? And at that point, you just want to keep that person for yourself, opposed to let that other person, grow or be.
That's just one example, though. Like, so I like I said, I don't. Here's an example. Helicopter parent.
What you talking about?
So that's all done out of what? Love, technically. Most of the time. Right? You love your kid so much, you want nothing but that kid to succeed. So what do? Remove all barriers. Not you. I'm just saying in general, people.
Right.
You love someone so much that you do not want them to struggle. So you try to remove every barrier in their way. You enable a lot. And then
you're right. You're 100% right. However, I think helicopter parents are doing that for themselves. They're not doing it for their kids. And that's exactly why it with my older son, I went off on him, was because I need him to struggle through it. I need it. Like, this is corny, right? But like, the best way we learn is from failure, right? And the only way he's really, really going to learn the lesson is if he fucks up. And I've told him, I'm like, dude, right now is the best time to fuck up. Mom and I are going to catch you. Don't worry about it. Right. But make that mistake now. Right. But a helicopter parent, they don't want to see their kids suffer. It's easier, I think. Right. To not let them suffer.
Well, what about the kid? What about the parent? Okay. Here's another one, is the tiger parent. So different than the helicopter parent, but the tiger parent does what? Pushes their kids so hard because they want their kids to succeed. Out of, technically, like, now we can always argue about the actual semantics, like what is the actual reason that people do this, but technically it's still out of the same thing we still call love. So it's just something to think about. That's why I was like, I think this is a great subject, because I always think that you should try to show as much love to people and be respectful and everything else. I don't think it's a bad thing to say that you love someone or that you show love. It's just that we also have always both extreme cases, right? Like, you got cases where you got shown no love whatsoever. And those are very, very sad. Very sad stories, and we all know those stories like that. So it's just you have to remember that there's also a case of you can have too much too, or like it's improperly
Balanced.
Yeah, improperly balanced or improperly focused, right? So it's just
so not too much love, not too little love, not too many in and outs, not too little in and outs.
Yeah.
Not too much chocolate, not too little chocolate. Got it. Find a balance.
It's hard, right? I don't know. We all struggle with it ourselves, I think, right? Try to balance ourselves, try to eat healthy, eat bad. It's okay to eat bad because we all have to eat bad at some point. We all enjoy it. We also want to eat healthy. We all want to try to do things better ourselves, be better people. But we also need to fuck up too. Like you said, we still all got to make mistakes. We still have to do things. And so we just try to be balanced. Can't always. Yep. So
I have two comments. I think
two comments.
One. A very quick one about about what Ernesto was saying about homework. This is something I think is really important that I would add to that conversation. Yes, it's good to have them walk through the steps, detail it out, because you want them to follow protocol, follow the instructions, right? And then that ultimately helps them in the long run. But the other thing that is key in doing stuff like that, and my kids went through that, with conversations about stuff like this, where who is defining the parameters of a successful answer versus not? It's your teacher. If your teacher says you get full credit if you show all your work and then the answer, you get half credit or no credit if you just show the answer. What are you going for? Full credit or zero credit? I don't care if it's easier for you right now to go for the zero credit, but how does it help you, dude? Right? Second point, the whole thing about too much love, too little love, helicopter, tiger, all of that, I feel like those are responses to love. But I think it's more interesting to look at the definition of love in those different cases. Because as human beings, there is no one common definition of love. A tiger mom will have a very different definition of what she thinks love is versus a helicopter mom versus moms that love their kids too much. So that part, I think, is actually more interesting to break down and define and understand. What definition of love will lead a tiger mom to push their kids so hard? Is it really out of the common understanding of what love is, which I don't even know what that is?
I will stick with what I believe in is the recipient. Is what if is they're the one who define love. You can say whatever you want, right? Like I can show my expression to say I hate somebody, but they realize it's because I say that is because I actually love them, right? So it's a recipient. It's how they receive. I could say 1,000,000 times I say I love them, but they may not even get any of that. That doesn't mean anything to them. So it's about the recipient in my mind.
How do you help someone open themselves up for love?
You never close
Shove
yourself
it
up.
down their throats. No.
What's that?
That's a loaded ass question.
Well, no, I mean, like that's kind of, I was just in what Henry's vein. Like that's one thing we always have to realize is that some people aren't in the right mindset, in the right timing to accept love as well.
That just means that you never close yourself down.
True, but sometimes like you just have to also look at it like I'm gonna take this on a hard
left turn,
crazy tangent right now.
Left turn.
Like we've all had past, well, I would say we all, some of us here have had past relationships, and you've known that sometimes you may click with someone, but you're on different timing. So it's like or you might have cross paths and it seems at the right, but you're not the right person, right? Because you're just crossing paths. Or sometimes it's like you are have a good relationship with the person, but your paths are parallel, but they never actually touch. So you're just like, so that's what I say, timing, because also you both could want the same thing for the same goal, but because you're at different points, you're never going to meet at that point in the right time. So timing, that's what I say, like, is an interesting thing when it comes to it, because you're like, that's why I asked is like, how do you then help someone open themselves up for love, because they may or may not be open for that, right? They may not be on the same time frame as you. And so sometimes you have to figure out, can you do anything about it? Or maybe it's not your responsibility to do anything about it, and it's your responsibility, or it's just at least for you to know not everything always works out, because we're not on the same, it's just not on the same trajectory or not the same timing, right? It's just sometimes
I
it
think that
happens like that,
still
right?
ties directly back to what Henry is saying, right? His definition of love necessarily means you have to understand what the other person that's on the receiving end needs and whether or not it's the right time. And the unfortunate thing is not everybody has that talent to figure out how or when or what. And that's when relationships can branch off because of that lack of understanding. And even building that, right? It takes time. Because I'm not sure when you guys met your wives, you fuck up, right? Everything's let's go steady all the way to when you get married, even after you get married, you fuck up from time to time. Part of that is figuring out how you express your love over the years. And even that changes as you mature in the relationship. So it takes time. It's not that simple.
Never is.
But Henry made it sound really good because it's so simple. But it's rough.
It is, and I have to say, timing plays a big part in a lot of these things.
Oh, here's something to add to you, that point, Henry, right? People always talk about love at first sight. I'm looking for that spark when I meet a person on a date to know that they are the one. That's bullshit. None of that happens. Okay. If that happens for you, it's like, oh, it was love at first sight and things worked out well, you get married and all that, you have a happy life, you're lucky. Okay.
I think Ernesto's one of those people.
Sure. You're lucky, motherfucker.
I got lucky.
See? That's what I'm saying.
That's for damn
I can
sure.
see it.
But
that's for damn sure.
But Ernesto, even though you are lucky, love at first sight, you still need to work your ass off for it, right? It needs to be
100%.
maintained.
100%.
Yeah, it's 100%. Hard work. Like with anything that you appreciate, that you want to keep for a long time in good shape, you have to work for it.
I don't disagree with any of that. I
didn't believe that. The recipient of that statement didn't believe it.
I have more of a question about the initial spark and stuff like that. So if you didn't have any initial chemistry, how do you then see if there should be even step 2?
I think on that note, I think we can wait. Please tune in for the next episode.
All right. I guess
See,
Henry didn't get the spark that the rest of us did.
That was a good cue on the way out, right? We always talk about we never have an out.
Okay. Just so everybody knows, our intros are rough, right? And they suck. And our endings and outros are rough and they suck.
No, they don't suck. They just stop it. It's fine. Just hit stop.
Yeah,
just go to the next one.
All right. We're going to the
catch
next
up on the
one.
next week. Don't worry. We can binge it all,
right. All right, we're done. See, we're ending it. This is so graceful, guys.
I don't mean to cut you off, Ray. We can definitely talk about this still.
Yeah, I'm ending it. Like, I'm serious. I'm threatening.
Thanks for
Call
listening.
time.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
See ya.